So, guys, today's class. Okay, before class, we done with the account creation, and after that, roles and users understanding. Okay, now today we are going with the Snowflake architecture. If anyone missed any session, please go through the recordings and let me know. I will clarify your doubts of previous sessions also. No need to worry about that. So, let us relaxly today learn only about the Snowflake architecture. Okay, if you understand the Snowflake architecture every day when I am using terminologies, you can easily understand the word topics what I am speaking. Okay, so architecture is the base level information we should know as as a Snowflake developer. So coming to this is our Snowflake architecture, guys. Simple, very simple. Snowflake architecture uh, is it clear now? 40, sorry, Sai Prasad. Okay, fine. So, we have only three layers, guys. Actually, Snowflake architecture is not tough. Okay, it's very easy. Okay, so what we have to do means just we have to understand the layers. If you understand the layers, then it is very easy. Okay, so in Snowflake only we have three layers. Okay, layer one, two, three. That's it. Or else you can go from here also. Layer one, two, three. Anything is fine. But only three layers we have. One layer is totally for storage system. For what purpose we are going? Mainly for the storage system purpose. Okay, to store the data. Whatever the data you have in your Snowflake account, the entire data set is say data is data or records, whatever it may be, going to store inside of the storage system only. Okay, there is no other way to do. Okay, that's the reason this is totally storage system. This is to store the data. Okay, and second layer, what is the second layer? You have to run the queries, right? To execute anything, you have to run the queries. In that moment, you need something support from the Snowflake to execute the queries. That mechanism, that support of run executing the queries mechanism is done by the compute layer. This is the second layer. Through this layer only we can understand, we are able to run the queries and get the data. So second layer, compute layer is totally dedicated for executing the queries. That's it. It won't do more than that anything. Okay. And coming to third layer, it is totally management layer. In other technologies, we won't have this kind of management layer. We only have to do end-to-end process. But in Snowflake, it have its own management, security management, data sharing management, optimization, metadata management. Like this, almost it can able to handle. So management services, we don't need to do anything. Itself have. So very less amount of admin work will be there in Snowflake, maximum. Okay, users creation, roles creation, database creation, schema creation, this kind of work privileges, because this is totally requirement basis we will provide. That's the reason this kind of things only we have to do. Remaining all internal management is able to done by the cloud service layer. So guys, these are the three layers what we have in our Snowflake. Okay, just simple: storage layer, compute layer, cloud service layer. That's the only three layers we have. Coming to next part, what is the storage layer? Just I mentioned storage layer. I didn't give much brief, right? What is the purpose? What we can do through the storage layer means, if we talk dedicatedly about the storage layer means to store the data. Just it is storing the data. That's it. Nothing to do more from that side means no. It's just not storing the data. Okay, not just storing the data. So in the storage layer, it handles the security, reliability, elastic storage of the data. All this is done by the storage layer only. We are not doing. For example, uh, yesterday you got 1 million records, for example, from the source system because of the customer usage. Today and tomorrow is festival. Obviously 2 million or 3 million. Day after tomorrow, its festival is ended. Sale is ended. So 50k or 50 lakh something will get, right? So in that case, our data is increasing and our data is decreasing. Getting my point? Our data is increasing and our data is decreasing. Because of this, we need elastic storage. Means based on our requirement, the storage less should expand and the storage less should decrease the space. Adjust the space if we remove any data set. I hope you are getting my point. Okay, so based on that, it will be adjusted. That is called the storage layer. Okay, elastic storage of the data. So requirement basis, size of the databases, it can manage, guys. Okay, and it have the scalable type of, I mean, storage type. Mainly, I'm talking about storage type. What type of storages you have? Structured storage and sorry, structured data and semi-structured data. Both is supported by the Snowflake. As per structured data, CSV file, semi-structured data, JSON, XML, Parquet, what it is all will come. Okay. So in our real time also we are going to explore the JSON and XML. Okay, you can ask me, can we go with Avro Parquet? Means data is only real time data, real time environment only will get the exact Avro and Parquet sample sets. If I try with the normal sample sets in the internet, it won't work out. Anyway, in projects also they will use CSV mainly, the first priority for CSV, later on JSON, later on XML, like that will be there. Getting my point? So here, storage layer is I mean, going to support the structured and semi-structured data, and also is the storage is made of multiple micro partitions. How it is doing, how it is adjusting the space means micro partitions. Here, storage layer means not simple space, plain space. The space will be allocated through the micro partition. Because of that, if your size of the data is available, it automatically will create the number of micro partitions. If data is removed, deleted, or something happened, then automatically micro partitions will be removed. So totally micro partitions adjustment. That's the reason only we are getting the flexible storage, increasing or decreasing. Getting my point? So we have to create micro partitions. No, you no need to create, guys. By default, so whenever you load the data, the team, I mean, what will say, those people will do. Those people, not a Snowflake itself, will understand the size of the data, and it will do the process. Okay, you no need to do anything. You know, generally in big data technologies, we only have to manage the micro partitions. Okay, but here mainly we no need to do anything. Just you have to load the data automatically based on your file size. It will create number of micro partitions. For example, micro partition size is 50 to 500 MB size. Okay, minimum 50, maximum 500. If it is required more, one more micro partition it will create. So it will calculate the size of the data set which is loading, and that data set related micro partitions will be created. Okay, guys. So how it will manage the number of micro partitions are there? Every day data is loading. Micro partitions also creating and data is loaded into that micro partition. Then how to track that? How system will manage the tracking means metadata. You no need to worry here also. Okay, we have metadata. With the help of metadata, it can manage the process. We no need to do anything. Metadata only will help us to I mean, point to the micro partition, fetching the data, everything for required performance. I mean, whatever the performance is required as a metadata, everything is done by the S- Snowflake itself. Uh, Pranav, I think everyone is good. I think so. I think nobody are giving issue with my voice. Maybe if you want, you can rejoin one more time. Ah, right. That only I'm saying, Tanishka. We no need to do anything. It will be created by itself. So we no need to worry about that. Okay. So guys, here what happening next step what happening means metadata is playing a good role because we are having micro partitions, right? Micro partitions we have, but who will manage that micro partition? Totally metadata. So metadata, for managing the metadata or for accessing the metadata, we want to do anything means nothing to do from our side. Already it is available. Just we have to use it. Nothing to do from our side. Okay, that is the way how we can manage. So you no need to worry about metadata management. You no need to worry about micro partitions. Okay. And coming to next point, the storage layer. What else contains in the storage layer means databases. Under databases schema. Under schema tables. Sorry. Under database schemas. Okay. Under schemas. Under database schemas. Under schemas. Fine. Sorry, guys. I get confused here. Storage layer contains databases. Under database schema under tables. Okay, under tables, row and columns. Okay, here data is going to store in the basis of row and columns only. That's the reason it will store the micro partitions. Will I mean inside I will show you how it will store in micro partition. Generally, data for our view purpose, data will store in a row and column combination only. Okay, so always data won't store in database, in schemas, in tables it will store. But what is the purpose of database and schemas? Means that is a upper layer hierarchy. Okay. After that hierarchy, this process will happen. Under schema, you can not only tables, views, and other stream data, tasks, so many things we can, so many objects we can manage. Okay. So that's the hierarchy. But finally, data contents means generally we will talk it's a table. Okay. So this is about the database layer, but I want to discuss something here. See guys, this is the way how micro partitions is there. Today I'm not giving much details, okay? But I mean much details means practically also I will do some work on micro partitions and I'll show you. That is one particular separate session for us. I will cover in our top coming up sessions. No need to worry, okay? So in here micro partition, this is our logical structure, table structure, okay? That whenever it loaded into table, I mean this is logical structure, this is physical structure. So whenever you see in a physical structure, micro partition 4 6 sp and 11 by 2, see the it's always Snowflake always store the data in a columnar format. Okay, that is paka 100%. Okay, once the data is loaded into the Snowflake, first it will compress the data to reduce the size of the data set. Okay, once it is compressed, automatically required number of micropartitions will be created. Once it is created, then it will load the data in a columnar format. This is the process will happen. Okay, once the data is columnar format, you are having huge data, million, billions of records means to make the process, we will apply the cluster by key. That's it. Okay, this all is going to happen. Now here I mentioned right here, this what entire line is there. Here we won't get entire line like that. Columnar format means column basis. That's the reason. First type column, next name, next country, next date. So type column, what is the number 4? What is the name for this C? What is the country for this SP? What is the date for this 11 by 2? Like that. If I go with the last record, 2, sorry, 3. 3x DE and 11 by 1, 11 by 5. See, all these are. So, everything logically it will take. Okay, first it took the type, it pointed to the type, then pointed to the next layer, next layer, next layer. Like, so internally it will manage. Generally, for your understanding, I brought this image. So, physically data will be like this inside of the Snowflake. Visual, I mean, we are visualizing or we are seeing the data in a logical structure. You have the point? Any doubt? That is called storage layer, guys. If you recap my session recording, so many points you'll get. Just note down as in points, okay? Yes, but Satish, for every table we have by default, micro partition will be created by default. Every table, not only this table. We no need to mention, okay, please create micro partition. We no need to ask anything. By default, it will create once the data loading process is happening. So we no need to worry on that. Okay, I'm moving forward. Okay, guys, Ravi, if you are unable to see the recording, please connect with the team only. They only can help you. Okay. Okay, fine. Going to query processing layer, guys. Here, query processing layer is totally for executing the queries. Yes, to execute any queries. For example, guys, your system is there. It is running now because of this meeting. It's running at the background. How it is running with a machine only, right? Some internal machine. processor, memory, CPU, cores, executor, so many things are there. With the combination only, it is executing, I mean, it is doing whatever we want in our laptop, right? Same way, Snowflake is also required some mission mechanism or machine power to load to execute the queries, to do any process, loading or executing or dropping, deleting, anything it may be. To do any action, it requires the missions. That missions it is generated by or provided by the query processing layer. That's the reason we will say it's a query processing layer, compute layer, and virtual warehouse layer. Any name is same for the second layer only. Compute layer, compute layer, query processing layer, virtual warehouse layer, and virtual warehouse layer and compute layer. Okay, all these are totally dedicated for query processing. I mean, names for one layer, second layer only. So in this second layer, what we can do is generally we can retrieve the data from tables, we can load the data into the tables, we can unload the data, we can delete, truncate, update, insert, whatever we want. All the DML operations and DML operations we can do, mainly data related. So same way, query processing layer is nothing but to do all this it needs mission, right? That mission we will call as a compute layer. That mission, that mission what we have means same like this only. Memory, CPU, all this everything is available. Okay. Same like your system how it is working. Processor, executors, cores, memories, all these are available. Okay. So, almost same points, guys, I kept here. So, in Snowflake architecture, it is just not a query processing layer. In Snowflake architecture for query processing layer, we have multiple virtual warehouses. Okay, so you will give 100 queries also no problem. There is a capacity of managing the workload with the help of scaling policy, multi-clustering policy. So, how many queries you give also, it can backend with the help of multi-clustering concept, it can manage. Okay, it's easy to manage. Scalability, so many. I will give the entire separate class on the second layer, no need to worry. So, but this is the mainly for running the queries with all this combination of the mechanism inside of the Snowflake. And not only that, it have multi-clustering concept, right? It have auto scaling policy, auto resume, auto suspend. So, like this, so many inside benefits are there, guys. So, you want to do anything for this benefits means nothing, just it will be available. You have to check mark it and you have to use it. That's it. You no need to do anything additionally. You no need to create something else here. Already existing things is there. Just you have to use accordingly. That's it. Done with the process. So second layer is totally for executing the queries to run the queries. That's it. Clear? Virtual warehouse or compute layer or query processing layer all are same only, all are providing all are names means one layer we have different names: compute layer, query processing layer, virtual warehouse layer, this much only: compute, virtual, query, three names. Okay, all are nothing but we are saying that's a machine to execute the queries. Separately virtual warehouse is not there. Second layer only we will call as a virtual warehouse. Getting my point? Abhishek, I'll come back last to your question. 14379. I don't know this person name. You got the point? Yeah. So don't think separately about the computer, separately about the query processing and virtual warehouse. All are one. Okay. How we will have our nicknames like that? It have multiple names. Finally, what about the cloud service layer then? What we can learn from the cloud service layer means cloud service layer is totally management, guys. Now, obviously, when you enter into the cloud service layer, first time whenever you're logging into Snowflake, okay, admin created the access for you, you're logging into Snowflake every day until you get Snowflake at the backend cloud service layer will do all this access control related management. So once you are logged in, it will check if this existing user are there or not, username, password. maintenance, everything, whatever required to enter into an account, the security level, everything will managed by cloud service layer only. Not only this, not only user login safety, but also data safety. On top of databases management, metadata totally handled by cloud service layer only. So metadata, metadata is available in cloud service layer, not database layer. So cloud service layer will connect with the help of database layer with the combination of metadata only. Without metadata, it cannot connect. So it will connect through the metadata. Okay, management, data sharing. If I want to share any data, there is very easy method. So data sharing concept. Okay, and so like there's so many guys, endless. Cloud service like totally security. I would say security is one point, management is, and data sharing like this. Multiple topics are there. All are done by the cloud service layer. So charges means obviously whatever the charges you are paying for two layers, the all are pay per use concept only. Cloud service, compute layer, or it may be storage layer. In that bill, what will be the 10% dedicatedly they will connect for the cloud service layer, like that they are including. Okay, there's no like this much amount we have dedicated to pay. How much we are getting the how much amount we are paying for storage and compute layer, in that 10% will be dedicated to cloud service layer. Okay, the entire architecture, if you want to see this is the way. Storage layer first, then virtual warehouse, then cloud service layer. So in cloud service layer, authentication, access control, both is available. Metadata management is there. Infrastructure, optimization, security, everything is there. The entire thing layer will be managed by metadata only. Second layer, totally for running the queries. Third layer, totally for storing the data. This is called permanent storage layer in our Snowflake. If you talk about Snowflake, it's a permanent storage layer. People will say, is it clear? Anything you can ask, guys. If it is related question, I'll explain you right now, or else after session, I'll explain. Okay, coming to what is the best practices for query optimization. Obviously, you'll expect this, right? We are doing this much work, but what is the good practice? Means cluster by key. Clustering helps mainly because cluster by key, what it will do means if you have multiple companies, you have 10 companies, for example. Okay, what you have to do means every time if you go with select star from table name, it have to scan entire the data set, right? To get that particular country name, India, for example. So in place of that, if we use cluster by key, first it will settle down with one company, one country name. On top of country, if you apply the cluster by key, on top of each one set, it will go with the filter. Okay, I mean internally only data will be reorganized. At this point, you have to understand cluster by key. What it will do means internally only it will reorganize the data. For example, if you store the data casually, it will randomly one by one, all records will load. It won't think, no, okay, India first, America next, like that. It won't think. Generally, it will load as per data set. But once it loaded, I want to make it in an organized way, okay, to fetch the data very fastly. Then cluster by key, you want to use on top of the column, country column. Automatically, country wise, it will load the data. Reorganize. It won't remove existing one. Existing one only, it will do reorganization. Once it's done, now if you check anything, it will be in ordered way. Okay, so how it is happening all this because of this reorganization or keeping in the order and getting the fast results because of the cluster by key. So this cluster by key is related to storage layer. Okay, that is one best practices for storage layer mainly. Coming to second layer, okay, these missions I mentioned, obviously your system is continuously triggering. Obviously, what will happen? Charges will be updated. For example, I'm saying this is a virtual mission. So if you want mission, you can make automatic. If you don't want, auto suspend. Means after 10 minutes, whatever the time you mentioned, till that time it will wait if someone is working or not. If someone really working, automatically it will stop. Being the enable mode. Again, we have to make it enable by query or by going general manual method. But anyway, we have to do that process. Getting? So, okay. So this helps us to manage our resources. Mainly, what is the purpose of auto resume is we can manage our resources very easily. Okay. And after that, catchy concept, reuse of the results. What is happening here? Catchy means we have three layers, right? In every three layer, here, warehouse suspend is nothing but warehouse suspend means stop the mission. Auto resume means suspend means stop the mission. Resume means start the mission. Okay, so automatically it will happen. That all I'm trying to explain. So reuse of cache. So local we have results cache layer and local list cache layer. Two layers we have actually. So because of this, what is the benefit for you means? For example, someone I trigger select start from table name, and someone is coming and triggering again same query within seconds gap or minutes gap, at least we can say minutes back or maybe half an hour after. So again, every time the person's coming and triggering the same query, it obviously it will be chargeable. To avoid this repeated charge, what they done means we can make the usage of cache results. Once the results is available, the results will store in the cache layer, and the query always you are running the same query. It won't go to storage layer. It will get the data from the cache layer. Because of that, execution of the resources we are reducing. So many missions we need to execute multiple times. That consumption we are reducing. This is one of the best thing what is supported by the Snowflake. Okay, so we have again separate cache layer concept is there, guys. So I will explain deep level what about the cache layer also. Okay, now just I'm giving overview of this only, but we have the separate class. So 24 hours it will available, Abhishek, for your question. How much time it will be available? After 24 hours it will vanish. Okay, so guys, here we go with this very benefit topic, cache layer actually. And you want to do anything with nothing to do. By default, it is enabled. You have to maintain that. You know, thing to do from your side. Okay. Yeah, fine. So okay. So, update, I mean, all this again, auto scaling, that all will come under the compute layer only, guys. Okay. So, pricing wise, mainly people will ask, what is about pricing? Yeah, obviously, pricing is there because this is a cloud, right? So, pricing, how it is managing means based on the pay per use concept. If you use how much size of the space in your, in your storage layer. Okay, in Snowflake, how much space you occupied, that much storage amount, as per average amount they will take, and they will do the average. On top of that average, you have to pay. Okay, so totally all are depend. I mean, compute layer or storage layer or cloud service layer or compute layer, everything have its own business, right? So based on the compute layer uses, compute layer bill charge will be generated. Based on the storage layer, storage bill will be generated. Okay, so that's the reason we are not wasting any rupee here. We are just clearing, we are just going through it, and we are just spending as much we want, not additionally. Okay, sometimes in other systems, old systems, what will happen means it like we have to reserve it whenever it we want, we can use. If you don't use or if you use, we have to pay. So not like that here. Giving my point. So paper use concept are totally for compute layer and cloud service layer. Based on that, the process will happen. So best practices for optimization technique means multi-clustering. Obviously, to manage the resources of the cluster, multi-clustering is important. And clustering concept. Someone asked me again one more example. Cluster by key concept is nothing but reorganizing the data on top of single column using single column. For example, country basis means each country will have separate blocks, right? So which country you want, where you kept your material, just we have to go there and we have to get the details. That's it. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Sadish, is it clear? Cluster by key? You'll get the data, 10 records. Okay, okay, you got the point. Okay. I will unmute because if I not unmute means you cannot type all your questions. Let me unmute. Yeah, you can speak out, guys. Yeah, Deepak.
Sai Sri here. So, can you just explain this clustering key with an example?
Yeah, we have countries data, right? For example,
Yeah,
okay,
okay,
we have name, ID, employee name, company name, and country name also because the company have different branches in the country country wise. Sorry,
okay,
in the world they have
okay.
different branches, so countries only. So we'll have America, US, UK like that. Multiple countries are there. So if you say select start from table name, where country equal to India, because I want to fetch only employees from India. So where country equal to India, what will happen? You have to check all the records of the table, right? It
Yes,
will
okay,
1 million or 1 terabyte is not a bad TB or not a problem. But it have to scan every record. Then only it can say 100% it feature all the records. So if you do this process regularly, what will happen? Scanning will consume more credits. Am I right? Obviously,
correct.
that's to avoid that cluster by key what it will do means if you apply cluster by key on top of the country name, first it will reorganize. We are not doing anything. Which column we give, based on that column it is going to reorganize. Okay, once it reorganized and it will rearrange the
Yeah,
data on country basis. Now we
no,
need to, yeah, tell me.
yeah, like I got your explanation, but if you can explain with the query later or
Okay,
today,
micro
that would be
partition.
more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Micro partition, cluster by key. All these
Uh,
concepts I'll explain at the end of our Snowflake sessions only because almost we'll complete all the subject, right? Easily people
okay.
can understand. So I never
Okay. Yeah.
prefer
Yeah. Yeah.
early. Yeah.
Yes, we understand your explanation, but
Practically, I will show you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Cluster
That's
by
what we
key.
need.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what we need. Yeah. Okay.
Without cluster by key, with cluster by key, practically I will show you
Yeah,
example.
because that's what I face few interview questions like how will we.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's the reason.
That is query actually, how to apply is a query. But if
Mm.
you see practically, you can answer it very clearly to others also, or else confidence we won't get.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that's what. If we can explain the query
Uh,
later in this session,
okay. Yeah,
it will be helpful to
I'll
everyone.
follow my pattern at that time I will explain. And micro
Yeah. Okay.
partition also, I'll show you something practically. We don't have any chance to create the micro partition from ourselves. 100% we
Mm.
don't have, but we can observe that how
Yeah,
micro
yeah, that's what.
partition is taking. That's why I will
Sure,
explain.
sure.
In this concept, I will show you compression technique. I mentioned, right, whenever data is loading into Snowflake, is doing the compression technique. That compression technique also we can observe in the staging data. Whenever you are loading the data into stage, it won't load directly from local to stage. It will do compress.gz as a file and it will load. That also I will show you.
Sure, sure. Thanks.
Okay, Dev.
Yeah,
Others
SaiSri.
apart from this. Yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
Satish here. Sorry, I was stuck in cluster key itself. So
Okay.
the explanation what you have given is if you started filtering or giving condition where condition with
Mm-hmm.
any of the country wise, so it will
Yes.
be taking more time to get the data for that country. So
Because
for
of
that, yeah,
entire data scan, because of
enter data scan.
yeah.
So instead of that, due to cluster key, so directly it will hit that particular country or get that condition, and you will get the data as
Yeah,
it is faster execution, you can say.
yeah.
So here,
It is
my point
not
is
the
here.
point here. It is not pointing individually again.
Yeah.
Whenever you apply. Okay, the time of table creation or after table creation also we can do it. Not a problem. When you
Okay.
apply, it will take some time. Not we don't actually the timing also we won't see much. Immediately it will fastly it will do reorganize and it keeps set wise internally. We cannot see that, but it will rearrange the data. How we can see observe that means time changes, time duration between with cluster and without cluster keys. Filter
Okay.
same query without cluster how much time it is taking, which cluster with cluster how many partitions it's scanning. Time also not partition scan is important. That
Okay.
proves the things.
So here we can create. cluster key with any of the column or only with the key columns we need
No,
we can
no,
create?
not key columns. 100% you should not take key columns. You need to take group columns
Okay.
because
Yeah.
ID will be one only, right? What is there to filter?
Unique one.
Yeah, unique. No, no, use groups, countries, company names, departments, something groups you have to use. Group by. In place of group by, you are using cluster by key. That's it, simple.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Others, few people join bit late, no problem. You just go through the recording. If you are not able to access my recordings or anything, just inform to a team, institute team only can give the access to you. I don't have any rights to do that. Okay, please connect with them. And here catchy layer also, guys, we have separate class. Virtual warehouse creation separate class. Database layer creation, I mean database means store database to schema and table creation separate class. Okay. And also metadata also I will use some places indirectly and directly I'll use somewhere at the time of other touching other topics. Okay. And
Yeah.
after that,
Sai Sri,
yes,
actually your voice is coming low.
uh, others is fine, Sita. In that case, if
No, no, no. Another person, somebody also ping.
please guys, let me know today itself because tomorrow I can correct it if anything is happening like this. Who is not able to hear my voice?
Sometimes it's fine, Sai Sri. But
Sometimes it is coming low.
Too low.
yeah, now it's coming low actually than previous.
I think,
Yes, it's
guys, if we
too low
can
sometimes.
use headset, it would be better because even I faced earlier.
Yes. Oh no, my mic is in my hand only actually. Okay, now is it fine?
Yeah, it's
It's
coming
better now.
fine.
Yeah,
No,
Sita?
now it is fine.
it's
Yes.
better now.
Okay, okay. I think when I'm talking automatically I'm moving my mic. That's the reason. Now I think okay. If I catch mic, that is a problem. Now it's fine, right? Yeah. I'm holding the mic. We are to covering the entire mic, so I think that's the reason it's not giving the clear voice for you. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
Question
Tell
here.
me,
So,
Vignesh.
yeah, don't we have constraints like Oracle here?
Or index. You're saying something like that.
No, no,
Constraints,
like
right?
foreign key, those constraints.
Constraints only, right? Okay, okay. Yeah, primary key, foreign key, we will use all this. Even index also people will say this all not there in Snowflake. Snowflake will enforce if you try to create the primary key, it will support. But once you create the primary key, generally what we will expect it should not allow the duplicates. But here it will allow. That's the reason. If you do that or if you create the table with the primary key also, it will enforce. That's the main reason nobody will go here with the primary key. Then you will get doubts. Then how we will handle the queries? I mean, data without duplicates. We have different concepts for that. With the help of merging all this, we can handle the duplicates. No problem in that. And indexing wise, indexing to make the process or query execution very quick execution, we are using indexing. In place of that, already they replaced with micro partition. So indexing concept also not required here. And foreign key, primary key, we won't use that. Only union all I mean union and union all we will use. And not null also it will support. With the DBT concept we can go with not null also. Union, not null, all we can go with the combination of DBT. So constraints,
So
you won't see
Saishri,
much information here.
you're saying like for primary key and all, right? So not null constraint and all, we need to handle it through the ETL.
No, no, no. In Snowflake only ETL. Yeah, ETL means you're saying transformations. Yes, when we are doing
Yes.
transformations, we have to handle it.
Oh, okay. So it's not enforced in the Snowflake side, right?
Yeah, yes, right. We can create the table with primary key combination, how we are doing in other technology, but it is not useful. You can load the data
Mm.
duplicates also.
Mm.
People
Yeah,
won't
because
exploit
if
that.
yeah, in Oracle, if we say it as primary key and if we try to
Ah,
insert duplicates, right, it
duplicate.
will fail, right? Yeah.
Right. That is won't happen here. I'll show
Mm.
you one or two example also. Loading the data.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody, even real time also, nobody will talk about this because it's not, anyway, it's not supporting, right? Nobody will think much about that. But better to know
Mhm.
as a trial
Yeah,
learn.
why I'm asking is like we are planning to migrate to Snowflake. Right now we are using Oracle. So right now we have primary keys and all, which is not the ETL tool we use is Informatica Cloud, right? So right now we are
Okay.
not handling anything, yeah, through ETL. So once
Oh,
we migrate it, then yeah, we may
you have
need
to
to handle
plan
it through the ETL.
accordingly. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
here again, I mean, what I observed in my projects means they are using one source ID as a unique.
Mm-hmm.
Architecture persons will involve and they have to design the source id
Mm.
100% will be unique only. If you add
Right.
employee id 10 times also 10 source ids will get, right? So like that,
Mm.
some ids, something from source system only we can do all this through the data, source system data. So, for
Yeah.
example, in my project, Salesforce is there or somewhere. I didn't remember exactly, but some application is giving source ID. Source ID, and you will be unique for us. So, no duplicate issue there. Combination again here. Different combinations we
Mm-hmm.
will have to take.
Okay, got it.
That would be a Salesforce ID, Sai Sri.
Yeah. So,
Every
I
record
remember.
Salesforce provides a
Yeah,
Salesforce ID.
yeah, every record it will generate the ID.
Yes, yeah.
That kind of some change, I mean, based on their business and their source system, we'll have some
Mm-hmm.
solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we have anything in Snowflake which internally creates any IDs if you want uniqueness?
No, we specifically we won't use anything for Snowflake from Snowflake.
Okay.
No. Source system only people will follow because we have to track the data from there, right? Something failed means
Mm-hmm.
if we want to search the record means again we have to connect with that record only, our source file only. So maximum people will make that process. No,
Okay.
no source system.
Yeah.
Loading
That-
time they will generate, guys. Load time, uh, insert time, any title is anything is fine, insert or load time, that's not a matter. Particular column they will generate to understand about the loading data, which I mean we at 10 o'clock what data is loaded, 12 o'clock, like that timing changes we can observe through the load time. So people will follow load time column in Snowflake particularly. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry, I disturbed someone. Interrupt.
Yeah, Satish here, Sai
Yeah,
Sri.
tell me.
So how this relationships is happening in Snowflake between the two tables or three tables, like
Uh, I said right. For example, source ID will be not unique because one table source ID and other table source ID, so we cannot take it, right? But other column, any business column will be sometimes what will say customers related IDs we can take, or else a customer related labels. Some labels will be there, right, in business,
yeah,
that those labels we can take. If you give me some data set, I can say immediately. Generally, if you go with any business, customer IDs, product IDs, not tags mainly, product names, codes, some confirmation will be common for two tables. 100% it will be common. So those information we can make the link. 100% we can make.
okay. So
Because
in
you observe someone is starting doing some products and they selling to some other person means when you prepare the products, okay, that products you will label it and you will name it and you will do some IDs also, some code will be allocated, okay, this code will be related to this product. At the same time, when customer is selecting that product, automatically that product code will be tagged with the customer table also. So two tables having code common as a products basis, right? That you can make as a joint condition.
okay,
Example, I said, if you have table, accordingly, I have to think again.
yeah,
Like Oracle row ID and row ID will be there in Snowflake. Hello.
Row ID,
Yeah.
that, yeah, row ID. Row ID means automatically generating row ID.
Automatically generated like in Oracle and SQL Server. So
No,
same
that
concept.
if we want, we have to add something. That's it. The load time people will generate normally in Snowflake.
Okay.
Anything else? Guys, today I mean, we waited for 10 minutes, guys. So tomorrow onwards, try to join early, 8 o'clock at least, 8, 5 at least we can start the class, okay? So we'll get, because starting days, we feel like, okay, we have good time, but coming up days, the time won't enough for doubts also. But my every day without clearing your doubts, I won't end the session. Suppose session is completed, I occupied 9:30 till 9:30 for my topic. Still after 9:30 I'll sit for your doubts, no problem. But you don't have time, you have to drop off. No problem, you can drop off. Next day you can come and ask the question. But as per my job, I will stay until you say okay, we are ready to leave. Okay, I don't have any problem. So better join early. We can complete our class and we can also focus on the doubts on regular basis. Without clearing your doubts, I won't close my session on regular basis. Okay, apart from this preparation, every day you have to write, as already I give role assignment is there. If you didn't receive, just check with the team. Okay, they will handle and they will align you to you. And coming to preparation, guys, not one day, every day you have to prepare the topics and make a notes for that. Preparation notes is very, very, very important. Without that notes, you cannot do anything in interviews. Again, no, Sai Sri, I will go and prepare at that time means no, that is not it won't work out. Okay, it 100% won't work out. If you, so for example, 45 days sessions are completed, again you have to sit 1 month to complete your notes. And at the same time, at a time, if you go through the what will say, go through the entire course for the notes preparation, it won't give 100%. What will say, it won't give 100% because it will be hectic, guys. Every day we have to go wantedly, we are sitting and we are learning and we are writing the notes. It won't work out practically. So regular basis, if you prepare your notes, that will be more benefit than at a time going with all the topics. Okay, quality maintenance I'm expecting here. You won't feel quality if you go after my sessions preparing the notes. Before sessions every day, suppose you are not, you didn't get time to do today, at least complete tomorrow's topic and yesterday's topic, like that. Today's and tomorrow's complete tomorrow. Something, adjust your time and prepare your notes. This note should be like an interview booklet for you. If you open all the answers, for that don't write lengthy lines. Okay, go with the short answers only. Nobody are ready to listen our lengthy paragraphs in our interviews. They want keyboards. They will wait for that keyboards only. If you say this, that, where, that nobody are going to care. What keywords you are presenting, very, very important. If you don't give any keywords and saying this, that, all English words, no problem, no use. So I know few people are already experienced, but who don't have experience, this information will be helpful. Prepare your notes short and sweet and with all the important keywords. Okay, don't focus on English paragraphs. And this is important. If you get any practical sessions that focus on theoretical and syntax of that topic, like that dependence on your process, you have to set your notes, guys. But finally, what should happen is once our classes is completed, if you open your notes, that will be the final book for your learning purpose. Okay, no other notes to prepare. Okay. Every day you'll get PDFs, every day you'll get recordings. Just now we settle down, right? My team will align everything and will share with you. No need to worry. Okay. Any doubts from apart from these guys?
I see.
Ramesh?
In SQL Server, we have data modeling concepts, right? Like fact tables, dimensions tables, like that.
Yeah.
So in Snowflake, we have anything like that? Or
Here we no need to. Nobody will talk about. Sorry, again my okay. Nobody will talk about fact and dimension terms only in Snowflake. If you go to real time back, only the people who worked very long back, maybe they with the habit they will say anytime fact and dimension, but nobody will say specifically you have to create the fact tables, you have to create the dimension tables. But Sarish, here simple thing we can understand. We're saying stack tables and dimension tables. Dimension tables is nothing but business columns only, right? Entire business columns,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Entire business column. But fact
Descriptive
table
data.
is, yeah, fact table is measurable columns.
Yes.
End of the day in Snowflake also we will do that only. But nobody will talk specifically fact and dimension. Obviously, not only Snowflake, any business persons who is doing analytic process, all out of all the columns in the table, they will filter measurable columns. Here, guys, who is new to this term measurable, like products, quantity, amount, purchasing order, this is called measurable. Okay, so generally if you go to supermarket, start time, end date, all this additional data will get in our invoice. So we will avoid all this and only focusing on the measurable columns. That process we will follow in Snowflake also. There's no specific topic for creation of fact and dimension table. Deepak.
Sai Sri,
Yeah.
Deepak here. So I faced an interview situation like they were asking for the specific because since they need support from fact and dimension table related topic, so they asked an experience who has experience with that. So I expect some example for fact table and dimension table and how it works. I'm aware of few of things, but I'm not sure like how
In
clearly it works.
Snowflake, I means really I'm saying, I mean, I can explain. See, whatever that I'm doing, that only I'm doing, keeping in my training. I'm not going with the theoretical also. Every session will be practical, but really there is no specific topics in Snowflake for fact and dimension. We cannot point general fact dimension table. We will speak in interviews or someone will ask me, but I'll clearly say this is dimension, this is fact, but types are never entered in that.
Okay, okay.
No
Maybe will
specific,
you?
yeah. Maybe that requirement is not only Snowflake, other combination of technologies and the people also coming background of that old technologies. That's the reason there's a chance to ask that much deep level.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
Ma-
sometimes questions is not depending on technologies. It's by people who is working long back. Like I'm not pointing to anyone. Generally, who is working with the old technologies coming to Snowflake, same way they will speak. That is the problem.
Yeah. No, no. There was a scenario like as you explained, like how fact what is fact table and what is dimension table.
Mm-hmm.
So we have few types, right? So that's
Ah,
what I
yeah.
asked. Like maybe.
Yeah, yeah, you are right. Actually, Snowflake schema is going to manage that. We are not doing anything specifically on
Mm,
these types.
okay, okay.
Nobody. That's the reason nobody are highlighting this topic. If you go with any training center, nobody Snowflake developers won't highlight because schema designed in that way. Max so much process designing process is completed by schemas on the Snowflake only. Nothing
Got
to
it.
do from our side.
Yeah. Okay. Just
But
for an
no
explanation, I
problem. No,
asked.
you will get this kind of irrelevant questions. So who is coming from old technologies and joining in Snowflake? They will ask you indexing also sometimes, which is not there
Indexing
in
is not
Snowflake.
here. Yeah. Correct. Okay.
Not there. Long back they used to do. What is indexing? As a Snowflake developer, I never do indexing only.
No, no. Here is we don't have the indexing here. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of they don't and they will ask. No problem. We have to manage like this. Generally in Snowflake, schema is there, right? General answer I'm giving. In Snowflake schema itself consists of fact table actually. Okay, schema
Okay. Got it.
itself
Okay.
connecting to many dimension table. So many to one, simple.
Yeah. Yeah.
Many means dimension, one means fact. Many to one. This relation is already available. You can give this answer. This is already available in
Yeah.
Snowflake schema.
No, no. Like I have already researched and I have few knowledge on that.
Okay.
Like I thought, like maybe if we have any like since I'm not aware entirely on this, like whether I'll be
Ah,
using it in Snowflake, I just asked you like if there is any specific concept related to Snowflake in that.
okay.
That's the reason I
No
want to
problem.
know
The
it.
question is not wrong. Good question only.
Okay.
But anyway,
Okay.
you also done R&D, right? So that is the
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
No problem.
Thanks.
No problem. Good to discuss. If I don't know, also I will also know. Okay, so not maximum trending because I'm already working in Snowflake, right? Right now also I'm working, so that's the reason I'm up to the mark. Like how what is the concepts are used by market and what we have to learn. Sometimes for interview we have to learn few concepts. Sometimes for doing the job executing our task, whatever the task is sent by Snowflake, job wise, that we have to do. So both combination I'm going to cover. For example, calculate, that's a totally theoretical class, theoretical question in interviews. You nothing to explain, theoretical points only. And one more, data sharing. Nowadays we are not using data sharing, but they will some people will ask you in interview. And this
Correct.
also architecture. This all are
Yeah.
some theoretical. We have to learn, that's it. But we won't use in our real time. Calculate we will use by default. It is already enabled. Nothing to speak from our side.
Yeah, yeah. Correct.
Like that. So that's the reason combinations I will explain. Again, guys, which is interview question, which is practically you have to use in your working time. That all combinations I will explain you. Once the topic is completed, I'll explain. Suppose roles and users are there. That day only I mentioned. We are not going to create only for interview purpose, for what we'll say, certification purpose, general knowledge purpose only. That's totally that process only. We never touch any user creation, role creation. The clients are not allowing right now. That's 100% true. And third one, today's topic is also theoretically. As a Snowflake architecture, what we will do, already they implemented, just we are using. But we should have the knowledge, right? So this is also interview question. This kind of questions, guys, you should be with a good flow, because out of 10 questions, for example, in interview they're asking 10 questions, okay? In that 10 questions, maybe 7 questions I covered in my classes only, 7 to 8, for example. 7 I covered, 3 are some practical questions. You have to use your brain and learning, whatever you learn till that day. You have to keep all that talent outside, and you have to complete the 3 questions. But the 7 questions, if you are able to go with a good way of explanation with examples, they will impress, right? Out of the 100%, 70% you are able to answer. 3% at least, out of 3%, 1%, but 10% means 80% you will complete. 20% your the way you give explanation or answers are not incorrect, for example. So interview person 70 to 80% is right, means okay, fine, they will maximum filter your profile. This all techniques they will use. So whatever the topics in your hand, be clear with that. At least new topics, new questions, we don't know, right? And if you are learning in deep level every topic, maximum you can answer to all the questions. Okay, this all experience, guys. Once you done in practice, you'll get experience, no worries. Any other questions, we can go, or else we can
As a developer, Snowflake developer, do we get involved in data modeling of the Snowflake, like star schema, spread?
No. 100% you never create any star schema. This all at the start of the architecture level part only they will complete. They won't come to you as a
Okay.
developer.
Thank you.
And how about the project, Sai Sri? Are we going to cover any end-to-end project on this and
Obviously,
session?
once Snowflake is completed, DBT completed, ADF also completed. I will cover one end-to-end session for the Snowflake, DBT, and the AWS combination project. All these combinations with with all, generally our project, how it will happen. Same like that flow, I will show you practically execution.
Okay, so it will be an end-to-end implementation of an
End to end, yeah.
use case
2 days
and
class it will take. 1 day I cannot complete it. 2 days I'll break it as a 2 parts. 1 day and second day, like that. 2 classes I will take, and I will go with end to end. That time I will explain more about how real time works comes. They will assign all these things. I will explain at the end. Now, if I
Okay.
explain, also people will forget. So I will focus only on topics till ADF.
All right, that helps. Thank
Yeah,
you.
general knowledge also I'll share, guys, every day. If someone is asking something, means if I got anything, I remembered anything else more than that, means I'll explain. I don't have anything to. I never stop anything to explain. Everything I'll explain, whatever I know as a practical experience person. But how much you're practicing is very important. It should not be one way. Two ways should be there. Okay, doubts also 2 ways. No need to be hesitate, like some people won't unmute only. No problem, you can ask me. It's a silly question, also ask me. Maybe it is silly question for you, others maybe that is important. In interview that question saves them. Okay. Okay, cool, guys. This is our third class only, don't be worry, like I'll cover everything. Any other questions, we can continue or we can stop the session. Thanks for joining. If you don't have any questions, you can leave the session, guys.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Bharat.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye guys.